Hello, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the new Dragapult in the Open Ultra League. This Pokemon is going to be a very fun one to watch because this Pokemon actually going to be very solid for the upcoming season, and for sure if you find it something to get, especially also for the future. This Pokemon got a huge move date update just before it got released, which is really great for it as it got access to Astonish instead of Hex, which we're going to not run here today because the new season is not live yet, and so Astonish is currently worse than Dragon Tail, so we're running Dragon Tail usually. For this first battle here, we are running still Astonish, but that doesn't make sense in the current season. So yeah, again, starting by the next season, it is better to run Astonish on this Pokemon as a fast move, but it also got access to the move Breaking Strike, which completely changes this Pokemon from being completely garbage to being insanely good for the Go Battle League, and definitely something to have. This Pokemon was a lot of fun. I would really recommend you to grind it out now if you can get it in the wild. It is a rare spawn. For me, actually, I saw more of those spawns compared to, for example, the release of Frigibax. Frigibax definitely was rarer than this Pokemon. A fun fact about this, I actually went outside to hunt this Pokemon down and literally got like this IV speed that you see here, was able to basically build this Pokemon with the rare candy, and as soon as I got home and already built it and already did all my battles, I got a wild spawn on it directly for like the Dreepy basically at home for me and had great PvP IVs and everything. But no, now I have this one built. Maybe I built the other one for the upcoming season because it's actually going to be a very good Pokemon, especially for the Ultra League. For sure worth it. But here, this was also the main matchup why I decided to go ahead and go for Dragon Tail later on. The matchup against the Obstagoon is just way better. If I had Dragon Tail, I would have easily won this battle here for sure. But again, every single other battle is going to be with Dragon Tail because currently in this season it doesn't make sense to run Astonish, but when you see it in like 5 hours, Astonish is going to be very likely the better fast move to go for, doing a ton more damage than it does currently, and so for sure going to be worth it. Anyway, the opponent's running Obstruct here, and honestly Obstruct really helped them out because Obstruct was able to just boost their own defense the entire time. As you can see here, Breaking Strike is barely doing any damage, and so sadly we are going to lose this first battle here, but just barely. It's actually kind of close. First time I'm going to use a shield here, of course it's going to be another Obstruct most likely, but as you can see here now, maybe this would have been a little bit of a closer one if this is going to, actually never mind, like if this is going to not knock them out, spoiler alert, and they can still get to another move there, which is kind of mad because, yeah, the fast move alone there was not enough damage. Of course, Astonish is triple resistant and the opponent is at +4 defense, so it doesn't do any damage at all. Moving on to the next opponent, we're going to have a great lead here. We're going to have the Tapu Fini against us in the lead. This Pokemon is going to be one that we're going to be able to hit hard with both the Steel Wing, which is going to be, of course, nerfed next season. We still don't know what Metal Claw is going to be. We're going to see it later on today. I tried to make another video later on. Again, my schedule kind of changed a little bit for basically since this season as well, so I will not do any crazy late videos anymore. I'm not gonna stay awake until like 4 AM anymore, but league changes for me at 10 PM, so hopefully it's going to be still fine for a video later on. We have to see, but yeah, league change is going to be today, or season change as well. So again, remember, use your star piece later on when the season changes. Very important, getting you a ton of Stardust for the reward. Anyway, we're going to see here the full farmer of Dragapult now with Dragon Tail as well against the Giratina, allowing us to realign. We can now take a look at the damage of a Shadow Ball from this Pokemon. Let's take a look on how much it's going to do. Boom, does quite a lot of damage here. Double step moveset is so great for this Pokemon. Honestly, it is such a cool Pokemon to have now. I really love what they did with the moveset. Really great change from Niantic. Here in the back is going to be a Guzzlord now. This can be a little bit of a trickier one because of course we're still going to have our other Dragon type Pokemon in the back that has to resist the Shadow Claw against it, which is not really ideal with the Giratina. But if we can still survive this Crunch and still get to another charge move afterwards, we should be kind of fine here. Crunch is coming through, and we're gonna go ahead and go for the Drill Peck. I'm not going to go for 2 fast moves here. The amount of times where I lost a game because, the opponent got like damage in too early, or like I couldn't get, like the opponent got a charge move through that they shouldn't get through, was quite ridiculous. I really hope that for the next season the servers are a bit better, but right now it's very difficult, I feel like, to play the Go Battle League still. But anyways, we're going to be able to win this battle. Good games there. Next opponent. Oh, this one was funny. This one was hilarious. Please just watch. We would have the Zarut here. And honestly, you might think I am a genius here by going for the Hydro Cannon as the opponent decides to swap onto a Charizard. I guess I'm just a little bit too tired or whatever. Like, complete mistake by me. Destroying the opponent's Charizard for absolutely no reason at all. And that is just hilarious. I really wonder what the opponent was like thinking at this point. We're like, oh, why? Or like, why did he go for Hydro Cannon there? Anyway, what we're also gonna have here is we can catch the move of the Root against our Dragapult, and as we're running the Dragon Tail over Astonish, we're actually going to be able to do quite a lot of damage. But while we had a great play there, there's going to be something here again, where the opponent should have never got this charge move through. That is usually not something that they get through, but I guess here the opponent was able to get a move through and just deny the damage for no reason at all. But at least they're going to have a funny Pokemon in the back here with the Shadow Ho-Oh, which you're going to be able to hit now with a Breaking Swipe. And what we're going to see here as well is that I need 2 more fast moves to go for another Breaking Swipe afterwards. And as the opponent has a 5-turn fast move, we can go for 1 more, catch the damage basically on our Empoleon, which also, if we just would have stopped out straight away, would have got to Hydro Cannon. But with this, we can go for 1 more fast move now and get the Breaking Swipe off, which is really important. It is going to be able to knock them out, and Dragapult is going to be able to win us this battle. Moving on to the next opponent, we're going to have the Skeldurge and Elite. This Pokemon is going to be an interesting Pokemon for sure, but we're going to swap out here straight away into our Giratina, getting out the Feraligatr. Feraligatr is mostly the worst possible Pokemon to encounter for this team, but that's going to be fine as you can still hit the opponent hard with Summer and Dragon Claw damage. As you're gonna see here, the opponent is going to go ahead and go for a Crunch, doing some more damage to us. We can try to go for a Dragon Claw against them. This is going to be enough to get them into the range where I would be able to farm down afterwards, but they decide to use a Shield, which is fine by me. And now I have 2 options. I can go into my Empoleon and try to go for a charge move, or I go for the full farm down with the Dragapult, and I decide to go for the full farm down. I think I should be fine that they don't get another charge move in afterwards, so I should just be able to go for a shield, go for the full farm down, and get the realignment here, I guess. Let's see what the opponent's gonna swap into next. It is going to be that Dragalge, and I decided to go for a charge move here, and in hindsight this was kind of a silly play. I should have swapped out straight away into my Empoleon, as I would be able to resist all the damage here. And of course we know that they have that Skeldurge still lurking in the back. We can go for the Stab, Shadow, super effective Hydro Cannon here, which is barely not enough to knock them out, and that is going to be very, very bad because now we're forced to use a shield here. This is going to change the matchup quite a bit now as well, because now the opponent is going to be able to go back into that Dragalge, and they have access to our Outrage, which is going to do a ton of damage. We have to hope that this move is going to do enough damage to get them kind of low here. It is definitely going to get them kind of low, and so we are letting this move go through. It is going to be that Outrage coming through, doing a tremendous amount of damage, and we will see here as well that we can still at least go ahead and go into the Dragapult and farm them down and win with a 1 HP and a Dream. Next opponent, we're going to have a horrible lead. We're going to have Cobalion against our Empoleon, so we swap out straight away, and I decided to swap out into the Dragapult for the reason that we have a Dragon-type Fast move which would be resisted from the opponent, and so it is better to keep my Giratina alive for later on. We're going to see the opponent getting into their Feraligatr, and as I really need to keep alignment here, I rather decide to go ahead and invest 2 shields. Again, this should have not happened. The opponent should have not got the move through here, because the damage should have went through before. Unless it's now consistent. I'm not too sure if it's now a consistent thing, like Niantic wanted to change it, that this is the way to go, but it's very much inconsistent in the current game, so I'm not too sure if this is going to be something that is now perfectly implemented, or just again a mistake by Niantic. Anyway, we're going to see here the Hydreigon against us. We can overfarm by a bit, get up to 1 charge move, and now go into our Giratina, trying to force some shields from them. I think I can take easily 2 Stone Edges here for sure, and so I was hoping that I am going to be able to force 2 shields from the opponent as well, and then basically try to punish them later on with a Hydro Cannon from our Empoleon. But what we're gonna see as well, the opponent perfectly gonna put me into a range where 3 Stone Edges are going to be enough to knock me out, and that can be quite difficult because we are not gonna do enough damage with our fast move plus the charge move to really threaten all those shields. As we'll still try to get to another move here, which we're gonna be able to do, but there should be kinda at a Stone Edge now, and my play is maybe to catch a move here, maybe catch a Stone Edge, I'm not too sure, but I decided to let the move go through now. It is going to be the Stone Edge here knocking me out, and yeah, it's down to Empoleon trying to fully farm them down, which is not going to work out, and so it's going to be a good game. Sadly, kinda a bit of a hard counter, but it is what it is. Let's move on to the next opponent. We're going to have Virizion in the lead. Again, horrible lead force, but here it doesn't really matter which Pokemon we swap into. We decided to swap out into the Giratina, which is definitely the better shout for us here, as the opponent is going to run that Weezing in the back. If we would have Astonish, of course, on our other Dragapult, it would have actually been better, most likely, to go into my Dragapult here for this matchup. But I don't really mind this matchup either. They decided to go for a play rough, which is not going to be enough to knock me out. And so I can still at least go for the neutral play of going for Shadow Claw plus Shadow Sneak in order to do some super effective, not super effective, like stab ghost type damage, of course. From our Giratina, we let the move go through. It's going to be a Brutal Swing. And as we know the entire moveset now, we know as well, Empoleon is not really threatened by anything here. Brutal Swing does around like 40% maybe from a Shadow, against our Shadow. Actually more like 35%, which is totally fine, and they're going to go back into that Virizion, but they have a hard answer in the back again in the Feraligatr. And honestly, I'm kind of curious on how it's going to be for me next season as well, because I literally took a break of battling kinda for a bit more than 2 weeks now. And so, yeah, I have to kind of get back into it again. It was definitely worth it to have a little bit of a break. I just didn't really see the point for this season here to play the last 2 weeks because of the meta being shifting anyway. Like, yeah, for starters would be kind of cool, but I didn't really have a lot of time anyway, so I'm happy that I didn't replay, and I'm happy that I took a little bit of a break from Go Battle League, but I'm not too happy about that Shadow Ball here coming through, because it's barely going to miss the target here. It's barely going to be not enough to put them into a range where I can knock them out, and we don't even get the fast move through because we have too many frame drops anyway, and so we can move on to the final battle for today. Let's find out what this is going to be. It's going to be the Heliolisk in the lead. That is going to be a little bit of a trickier one. It's going to be a core breaker for the team, as our Shadow Claw damage plus also our, I think, Steel type damage is resisted by Electric type Pokemon. I'm fairly certain. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it is. But anyway, we're going to see the opponent going for their Breaking Swipe, which I can let go through. It's not a stab move. And of course, they're going to get the debuff straight away, which is actually quite impactful now because the opponent goes into the Feraligatr. If I would have hit it like 2 non-debuffed Dragon Claws here, I think I'm going to be in a spot then where I could farm them down potentially with a Dragapult, but as we were debuffed, there's basically no way at this point, as the opponent is still at a range where they can easily survive any kind of hit and still kind of punish me as well, which is not really ideal. And so I decided to go into my Empoleon here. I can try to reach another charge move against them as well, as I decided to go straight for a charge move here themselves. It's going to be the Crunch, and I should be able to reach out for one Hydro Cannon in time or Drill Peck. Both of them are going to be enough to knock them out. And so it's down to Dragapult to win this battle for me. Can Dragapult do this? Or we have to find out what they're going to have in the back. It's going to be the Heliolisk here. We have some more lag, which I don't think really mattered at all. But the Breaking Swipe is coming through, allowing me to go for my own Breaking Swipe here. So double Breaking Swipe users. This is going to be enough to get the shield as well. Don't get the debuff, because why would I ever get the debuff? But at least I can go for the full farm now. Now in the back it's going to be a Talonflame. That is not over yet, the game. We can go for a Breaking Swipe. Maybe should have went for the Shadow Ball, predicting that the opponent would let the move go through. Would have been most likely better, because we are just not getting any Breaking Swipe debuff. I feel like 50% is not really the case for this move. I feel like it's more like 20 or 30%. But anyway, we can go for one more here. Maybe this time around we're gonna get the debuff, which I think we get. Let's find out here. We do get the debuff here. That's great. And I actually want to swap out here in time into my Empoleon, but I snagged in a move here, which I didn't want to. And with this, the opponent is sadly going to be able to win this battle. Well played by them. This is going to be it for this video. And again, I'm most likely gonna see you later for a video for the new season. How exciting are those updates going to be? You know already anyway, everything from the new season or for the new season on my channel there. So definitely check out all the videos I did about them, all the top teams, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.